Timothée, I'm looking at you. A Complete Unknown, directed by James Mangold, written by him and Jay Cox and Elijah Wald, who wrote the book. Okay, James Mangold, big name for me. 3:10 to Yuma, Ford v Ferrari, Logan. This guy can make good movies. And Timothée Chalamet is something else. A Complete Unknown takes place in the 1960s and forward as Bob Dylan, the amazing folk singer, begins his meteoric rise, creating relationships with amazing musical icons such as Johnny Cash, Joan Bates, and then eventually creating this chaotic, electrifying transition, breaking the norm and tradition as he moves into an electric sound. Okay, I feel conflicted watching this film. Timothée Chalamet, who plays Bob Dylan, this might be his best performance yet. He does amazing. You know, I finished the film and I said to myself, that was a good performance. And then after the film, which is when I do my research, I was watching a bunch of Bob Dylan interviews. I was watching a bunch of videos of him. And then I said to myself, nah, man, he did a great performance. This guy, se aventó. He did great. The voice, his walk, the way he talks, he does this thing with his cheeks where he's able to manipulate those muscles there to make them look as if when Bob Dylan did when he spoke. Small things like that just sell the role. And that's not even mentioning the fact that he sang. This guy sang. And if you compare his singing with Bob Dylan's, he did a great job. The supporting cast as well did good. Monica Barbaro as Joan Bates, Edward Norton as Pete Seeger. He was my favorite supporting actor here. Elle Fanning as Sylvie Russo. Good performances. And then the surprise of having Johnny Cash here. Yes, that was cool. And like I said, I feel conflicted because Bob Dylan, as shown through the film, is a standout. You have a crowd of people walking one way. Bob Dylan's going to be like, "Doo-doo," walking the other way. He's going to be that rock in the river. He's going to be against the norm, against tradition, and a lot of respect to that. And unfortunately, this film goes against its main character's ideology. And it falls for me becoming a generic biopic, playing it safe in its storytelling, in its beats, that biopic story that you could just see miles away, except for every now and then moments that caught me off guard, and specifically and probably one of the more impacting scenes and one of the more impacting moments in folk music history is that Newport Music Festival performance by Bob Dylan, where he says no to acoustic and yes to electric. I don't think I said the title of the book it's based off on, but the title of the book is Dylan Goes Electric, and that's what the movie focuses on. And I like that about Bob Dylan's character, and the way it's shown in the film, how he sticks out and courageously sticks with what he wants and doesn't bend for anybody else's command of him, whether it be the fans or any other musical icon. And I like the resolution, which felt different. But throughout the film, a weaker aspect of it was also its protagonist itself. There's a scene where him and his girlfriend are arguing, and she starts saying all of these things about how she doesn't know anything about him really, and he's a big mystery to her. And I think to the audience, it felt the same way, where we spent about 2 hours with this guy, and yes, he loves music and he's different from everyone else, but there's a lack of personality there in his character, not in the performance, in the character. That's hard for me to put my finger on. Overall, I like the movie. I think it could have done so much more, especially given the superstar that the film was about. But the performances were a huge standout, especially Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. This film is a weak B- for me. Okay, this film is rated R. Very brief punches thrown throughout one scene, heterosexual kisses thrown throughout the film. There's no sex, but sex is implied. There's strong language, but for a 2 hour and 20-minute film, it's very little. That's about it. Let me know what you thought about A Complete Unknown. What's your favorite biopic and what's your favorite James Mangold film? I'm a big fan of Ford v Ferrari. Anyways, please like, please subscribe, and have a great day. Bye-bye.